take a call.
Yeah,
we got a few calls lining up. We got Patrick from Austin. Patrick, welcome to KLEAN
back,
Radio.
as always, Patrick.
Hi,
How
Patrick.
are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm
Good.
great. Welcome back to KLEAN Radio. Let me set this up. I know you guys have been listening to the show, but Patrick is a past caller who's awesome, actually. He's sober now how many weeks?
I think it's like 5 or 6.
5 or 6
That's
weeks.
right.
And
Right.
when he first started calling the show, he wasn't. And he called in one night, and basically it set his alarm clock to the show, and he hasn't drank since. He threw out the 12-pack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what's cooking, Patrick? How you doing?
I'm actually doing really good. I mean, the wife's pretty good. I actually had a question for the gentleman who was not an addict. What was your name?
Mark.
Mark.
Mark. Okay. I just wanted to comment. I mean, I think that's really amazing that you work in the field and you're not an addict. I mean, most of us are, but I think I think you bring a whole nother side or a whole nother approach or another view of it that a lot of people can really, like an outside view that a lot of people can really benefit from. Because I know being an addict, I worked in the field too, and I thought I knew everything because I was an addict, and I wasn't really open-minded to the people who weren't. But once I kind of dropped that ego about it, I learned a lot from the people who weren't, who were helping me in the field.
That's a great point, Patrick.
Yeah.
What drove you? I mean, I know a little bit. You started in criminal justice, right?
Yeah.
And that made you interested in addiction. Can you explain more to our listeners why it became such a priority for you?
Yeah. Well, we the first priority was to get people into treatment. And if you've got a heroin problem and you're a heroin addict, the quickest way to get you into treatment, being absolutely brutal about it, is to give you some free drugs, heroin.
Right.
That gets lots of people in. Yeah, surprise, surprise. You won't get the Nobel Peace Prize for doing that, but so we got people into treatment. We kept them there for 90 days because the international evidence is you need to keep people for 90 days to do anything. We did that, but then we were asked ourselves, so what? So we've got thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in treatment. Are they able to go back to work? Are they able to look after the children? Can they form meaningful relationships? Are they citizens paying taxes and working? And the answer a lot of the time was, well, maybe not. So then we started to look at the experts. Who are the experts in recovery? And at that point, then I had to find the humility as a professional to go across the land of recovery where the guinea pigs were the white coats, yeah,
Right.
and accept that people like Patrick and the people like yourselves that are in recovery, that you're the experts. So and having done that, then I got inspired by it. Because
Have you taken criticism from your colleagues?
Yes.
You've taken some pretty bad criticism.
Yeah, and the reason I ask that is because people aren't always aware. Patrick, it really is an amazing question that people aren't always aware of. In the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, Dr. Silkworth, who, I know a lot of people like to say his stuff is a little outdated, but about 75 years ago, he was looked upon very badly for coming out with his points of view.
Yeah. And look at Carl Jung.
You're right, Carl Jung.
Carl Jung, treating Roland Hazard in 1929, 1930.
So have you faced, for both of you, from your critics, people have been extremely critical of you guys?
Yeah, but I mean, it's been, they have, but it's not. I mean, I take comfort from the fact that what I've seen today, being with you people and being at the KLEAN Treatment and at the barbecue, is people who are doing this thing. Lives are transformed. I've seen miracles. I've met people in open meetings, open 12-step meetings, literally, who I thought were dead. I met a woman a few years ago in a Narcotics Anonymous open meeting who, last time I'd seen her, she'd be carried off in an ambulance on a Christmas Eve for injecting drugs in her groin. And I assumed she was dead, and she wasn't. She's alive and well in Narcotics Anonymous.
So what do you think, Patrick?
I think it's amazing. I mean, I really do. I know a lot of people who, it's hard to understand an addict if you're not one or if you've never experienced it. And I know a lot of people, rather than would want to help somebody who's addicted to heroin or crack or whatever it is, they would rather just judge them and shut them out of their lives. And there's very few people who actually would take that and actually turn it into a passion and help them. And I think that's really cool.
I mean, you're right.
That's a great compliment.
And I think it is amazing because I think for so long, when we deal with this all the time, we happen to be sober. But so often in this field, people look at people and go, well, you're not sober. How can you help me?
Right.
You don't exactly say to a heart specialist, well, you don't have a heart attack. How can you help me?
Exactly. Well, Patrick, we're going to have to move on to some other calls, but thank you so much for calling, and congratulations on staying sober.
Patrick, I'll talk to you next week, and I'll talk to you. We'll see you on Facebook.
Are you struggling with an addiction that's ruining your life? Want to have a confidential conversation with a professional that will immediately assist you? Do you suspect a loved one is abusing drugs and would like a free drug testing kit and consultation? KLEAN Treatment Center is standing by right now to help those with addictions and the people who care about them. Call 888-601-6040. That's 888-601-6040. Or go to KLEAN Treatment Center, that's clean with a K, KLEANTreatmentCenter.com.